Hello. Morning. Greetings and salutations. In here with verbal processing. Maybe the stream will help me focus my attention span to write some more. The past 2 days I haven't been able to get into things I like. Yeah, I know those days. It's like, well, it's something I'm interested in, something I normally would enjoy doing. I had this issue with video games for a while. I guess it was in a transition between me like being kind of actively wanting to be playing games quite a lot, and I'm now more of a play games time to time. I'll get a little game time in every day, but it's usually like I'm also exercising or whatever. It's just kind of in the middle there, I just found like I couldn't pick up a game and just like relax and enjoy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. It's getting better. It feels like I maybe don't sink into them the way I used to. They don't produce that zone feeling. And maybe that's for the best, honestly, for me. Good morning, greetings and salutations. Here with verbal processing. And I am back. And I have been messing with something called Python. Oh man, a card. What the heck? What the heck with the stream phrasing up? Oy, oy, oy. Let's see. Miscreant, because why not? Maybe you need to escape. You don't need to escape as much. I've been escaping all week. Civ 5 is hard, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is exactly. Maybe. I think that I definitely... Yeah. I think that there is probably less need to escape. Here's the footage I shot of the test run of the dice roller. That's like 81 runs. Clearly, I need to figure out how to detect when this is reached the end of the video and stop playing it, but that's not something I know how to do right now. One thing is if I change this line, I'm not sure this will work because I'm already using the camera for the show, but I wonder if... Whoa, that's a new feature. Or I just wasn't paying attention. Either possible, I suppose. But let's see what happens if I just try to evoke video capture 0 here. Because it would be really cool to be able to attach to the video camera and process it during the show. Let's see if it's... I'm guessing it's going to go like, maybe not. No, it's thrown an exception. Size, height, function, etc. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I think that's its roundabout way of saying, hey, we know you're trying to get something, but it ain't there. I wonder if OBS though is kicking out like video capture on any other channels. Huh. Oh, should that be IMG show? Did I screw that up? Insertion failed. In function CV IM show. It's IM show, right? Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay, so still lots to learn. Yeah, so the sour bears it's a solid choice. I'm more of a chocolate guy myself, but my wife and son both love the sour stuff, so I can get into it here and there. Good morning, all, or happy evening, happy Friday, whatever works. Good morning. Hello, Miscreant. So what else is cooking apart from the escaping in the Civ this week? Or this weekend, or today, as the case may be. We'll switch this over here. I feel like it's a little bit better view, at least when I'm having to put my head down a lot. I think they're similar. I mean, you can put that malic acid and citric acid and all that stuff on any kind of candy you want. So, so smooth. I need to put on my like pec suit before I wear this outfit to the show. All right, let's see here. Oh, health insurance stuff I've delayed all week, which is fine, but I need to catch up this weekend. Might go to a matinee, though, today. Need to see what's playing. That sounds all right. That sounds all right. Yeah, I wonder... Output timer, scripts, caption. I probably should not try to get too deep into that. The point is, I got OpenCV set up. I've got it doing some really basic stuff. In fact, well, I told Flora I'd work on Olaf today. I think that's probably the right thing to do. Okay, so let's get Lefty first, and then we'll work on Olaf. And I kind of gotta keep it moving this morning. I may not stay very, very awfully long. I need to get some deliverables put together for this afternoon that I think I've I've procrastinated a little bit on, or let's say I have been working on other stuff, and it's been a choice between, well, work a reasonable amount of time for this job and get get the most immediate stuff done, but be behind on other things, or work overtime. It's not overtime though; just work more hours to try to catch up, and it doesn't seem like that's a great fit right now. Because there's just like an unlimited number, like there's always more stuff to do. So you gotta be kind of disciplined about how much time you're investing, when it's actually an emergency or when I'm just getting myself worked up, Let's see here. Girlfriend says, I'm very cute with my outfit. Of course she does. I know the feeling. It's lovely. Your outfit's lovely, Flory. Let's see, catching up, checking this. Okay, so I should bring some stuff down to this screen. We should do some stuff. So let's see. I think I turned on air server. Let's find out. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. What's honky donkey? Like you want to look honky donkey? Is that a thing? Is that a desirable trait? It's a funny phrase. Or is honk? I feel like I'm missing out on an important fact here. All right, this is something I was messing around with earlier, but this is not a get lefty. This is a get righty. So in the evenings, I find that sometimes I'm just like, nah, I ain't got this in me right now. I ain't got the get righty or the get lefty in me. Although, I will show you another symmetrical design I did last night. I thought was kind of fun. I was practicing a little bit of developing sensibility for digital inks and getting some sense of order and depiction there. Honky donkey is the do. The do you do. Oh. Is the honky donkey the sexual activities? Honky donkey. Oh, I see. Here we go. All right. This is the Urban Dictionary entry. You know what? I should probably be a little bit more thoughtful about what I'm putting on the show. Let's see. Somebody's claiming here honky donkey means white ass honky, and donkey means ass. Kiss my honky donkey. All right. Well, I feel like half the things in Urban Dictionary are guesses. All right then. So yeah, here is another piece I did last night. Yeah, I had fun with it. I'm not sure what these are for me, but whatever. I'm having fun. Okay, so let's go over here to get lefty, and I'm losing hope. You're arranging, you're scheduling, you're assuring, setting up for, etc. Sounds lovely across the board. Yeah, I remember Lords of Uber Dark. Whoa, hey, Dratiti, Dratiti. What's remind me more about Lords of Uber Dark. Yeah, tell me about it. I do remember it. I'm gonna search for it on YouTube right now. Here, YouTube. I'll bring this down for us to share. And what we got here? Everybody's getting so good at everything now. Sickens me. Let's see. Lords of Uber Dark. Oh man, I still have high-ranking videos for Lords of Uber Dark. I don't even remember making this one. This one says bombs. Okay, that sounds kind of familiar now. So I got the 4th video, still from 6 years ago, and still the most views. I mean, like within the top 4, I should say. I'm having fun. Let's see, let's take a look at like the latest in Lords of Uberdark. I'm getting distracted now. We'll kind of poke through it here. 2016, huh? Ooh. Yeah. All right. Seems like this kind of developed, huh? Wow. I wonder if development continued after that. Lords. Have you checked? Dratiti? Am I saying that name correctly? Because that's the way I want to say it. Of Uberdark. Hey, hey, hey! What up, Google? Okay, I'm. Well, it says I'm not signed in, so Google giving me the fat results, or maybe it knows my IP address likes verbal processing, and that might be the thing with the YouTube search results too. Now that I think about it, but still fun. I can pretend. Aaron Bishop Games. I remember. Isn't that the fellow that made it? I think that's right. Anyway, or that was making it. Current alpha. Let's see. Pretties. Copyright 2011. That's just for the page, I think. Videos. Yeah, it seems like the last. Oh, he's just linking there. It's not really super clear. 2 comments. 2015 might have been his last update. Well, shucks. Shit happens. Anyway, let's get to work. So I decided that I'm not feeling the grids as much now. I'm kind of tired of giving up all that resolution. So I decided to stop doing that for now. So let's see. What's the the prompt for today? Let's go down here to the Discord. Let's check the pinned messages. And exhausted. All right. I got something in my brain. My brain's case here. I'm trying to. You know what? I probably shouldn't overthink it. I guess I'll stay with the mandalas that I've been doing, but I'm gonna not do quite the same kind of symmetry. I'm gonna use symmetry, rotational, not rotational, radial but not rotational. That causes it to meet and be it's useful for making faces and heads and things like that. So, and that's kind of what I've been enjoying messing around with lately. So I think I'm going to continue to do that. Let's see here. We've got an assisted layer. That's what we need. Let's kind of make this like a nice blue line pencil here, and proceed. Now, I guess don't need to have much of anything in mind at first. I just start these things out like this. I mean, I started to think about things that I could do as soon as I read the theme, and then part of the reason why I've decided to just start noodling in here is because I don't want to. For this exercise, I'm less interested in pursuing a preconceived idea for the most part. You know, it's like a direction is fine, but pursuing like a tight preconceived idea is not what I want to practice. I can practice that when I'm drawing from models. So instead, I decided to kind of pursue just some sketchy lines and look for things to emerge within that. So there are these like kind of little alien heads coming into this one. Not sure if this is the one I want to keep though. I think it kind of took shape too soon. So let's do another pass at it. And also, I think I'd like this to be turned way down. One thing about having this. All right, Flory. See you later, hon. Enjoy your evening. All right. So one thing about such a large canvas, though, is that I feel like this pencil does not get big enough. So let's see, size, max, stroke taper, shape, scatter rotation. I would like to scale this brush up. I would like to, here we go. Okay, so this is the grain behavior, though. This is the stroke. Just spacing, streamline, jitter, fall off, size, and that's just, it's just set to max. So, see, grain, dynamics, speed jitter, glazed wet, nope, pencil. Okay, Apple pencil pressure, Apple pencil tilt. Okay, so these are some responsiveness settings there. Use stamp preview. Preview the max, okay. Oops. Orient to screen, blend mode, luminance, blending smudge, size limits. There we go. So let's double that at least. We'll put it like 20%. There we go. So that fits our situation a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, that's the scale I'm looking for here. Okay, I was in the middle of watching a DVD with a show with Orkanen Sunner. I don't know how to pronounce the O with the slash, nor do I know what it's called, and forgot everything about the stream until now. So tell us about this DVD you were watching with Orkanen Sunner. Exhausted, huh? I keep imagining eyes. Very saggy eyes. So I think that is going to become a theme, a motif, rather. And it's another thing about these Get Lefties. I want to make sure that I'm getting them in pretty good shape during the show, because I, as a creature of habit, I like to just move on to the next thing. Well, I should say this: I don't like to move on to the next thing very readily, just by nature. But if I can just get into the habit of just doing it, it's so much easier. So that's something to aim for, I find. Let's actually switch this to left-handed mode. Can I come up with some kind of face that will fit all of these? I'm not sure what works here. Let's just slow it down and kind of play. Let's see, meaning Sons of the Desert after the movie with Laurel and Hardy, where they make a sort of review based upon below the belt humor based entirely on suggestion and barbershop quartet singing on quite a high level. Ooh. So the Sons of the Desert are they like the Danish or Belgian Laurel and Hardy? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just putting it together slowly in my mind. Why are you focusing on radial designs? Any particular reason? No, I'm not. There's not like a specific motivation, but there are. But since I do have an inclination toward them, I find them pleasing. I like the symmetry, and I like to experiment with where we can kind of like test the boundaries, and this time is just a way to like stay in it, so that I'm thinking about it at least, even if we're not always pushing things. And So I have like an attraction to the symmetry and an interest, and then there's a couple more advantages. One is that it's visually impactful for relatively little drawing. So from here to here is all I have to draw for this whole thing, and you can make of that what you will, but to me, I find that satisfying. I find that return on my effort satisfying, and I think that it makes for a distinctive thing. I think it makes for an opportunity for a little, you know, maybe it's some free engagement I get from it because it appears more complex than it is. But that may lead me to one day realize that I should go through and I should make little tweaks to each section so they're all subtly different. I think that that's probably going to be in the future of my symmetry explorations. Because I would like to give the viewer something for that value. Now that I've realized, oh, you know what? That's like kind of a cheap, it's kind of a cheap shot I'm taking there. Like not on purpose, um, but it occurs to me that like I could add more value to that in the long run. I think that'd be cool. Let's see. They base their visual concept on Laurel and Hardy, such as smoking with a fez, and basing parts of it around a secret lodge. Ah, I gotcha. This is from an Africa-themed show where they tackle the movie Casablanca, where Ingrid Bergman has become Ingrid Dwarfman. De Virgman. Oops. Oh, yeah, I don't want to switch this around like so. Let's see if this link will actually open in anything. Oh, there we go. Ah, I can see why they might have changed the name thusly. Rick, Frenchie, I forget the German fellow's name. All right, let's see here. Oh, somehow I got a different colored drawing implement going there. Not feeling too chatty at the moment for whatever reason. But that'll happen sometimes. Sometimes you just want to zone in creatively. I think we need to have room for that here. So we do. I'm trying not to fantasize too much about my holiday break time and all the projects I'm going to get to do. Just don't want to get myself too far invested in the future when there's plenty of now left to do. They've also done Lady and the Tramp where Godfather and the Pontiff turns up. So tired. These little faces. So sleepy. Just searching for where I want the lines to live. I'm taking things slow. Something I'm learning as I've been mentioning on the show lately. Something I'm learning to do more and more. Relax a touch, at least. And I don't know, there's just like it certainly keeps things cleaner to move slower. And if it can be done without like getting super controlling, I find when I get controlling about a drawing, it gets a lot harder to hang with it. So don't want to, I want to try to kind of correct for that. Or sketchily, let's see, or Out of Africa, where Stanley, Tarzan, and Karen Blixen, I don't know who that is, and Anaconda, gotcha. Turns out, which is Niels Olsen, the tall guy, turns up with fake boobs. Oh, naturally. Okay, yeah. You would expect that. I mean, dressing men as women. It's a time honored comedic tradition in the theater. Guess I should come up with something for the middle here. Kind of picturing maybe like a something in the center here. I don't necessarily know what it is. I'm kind of picturing like maybe a kind of a cocoon-like texture here to the extent that I can depict it in this situation. Somewhat limited my options. But in any case, something in the center here. And then maybe some kind of chibi-fied spider legs with a little bit of pokies on the end. Some let you know there's spidery hairs coming along here. And yeah, let's kind of imply there's some kind of structures back here. Their old guitarist, Ole Usen, who died a couple of years ago, unfortunately, ended up taking up roles of himself, such as a great foreign legion guard armed with sharpshooting banjo, or Sam in their Casablanca sketch. Oh my. Play it again, Sam. Play it another time, Sam. Put it on shuffle, Sam. And that's like a what an apocryphal. He doesn't say play it again, Sam, but it's like that's a simplification as I recall. I've only seen the movie once. It took me long enough to get around to it. I think it was like within the last year that I watched Casablanca for the first time. I enjoyed it. Did I hear that it was a B movie made on a very small budget? But it was like a breakout for I don't know. I wouldn't know. I guess back in the day, stars could turn up in B movies, very low budget productions. The star system. All right. What we got? Yeah, there is I think there is a connection there, Miscreant. Certainly an inspiration in one direction or another. Of course, they probably also come from similar roots themselves, although distinct to the sort of like idiosyncrasies of their individual cultures, I imagine. So, Miscreant's working this weekend. Sketch. What do you got cranking? I am booked all day tomorrow. I will be teaching Unity I'll be drawing in the morning. I'll be setting up that lab with some additional stuff. I'm gonna put Discord on the machines in there so that I can get the students set up with Discord. Oops. Set up with Discord on there, and that I can send them code snippets during the class, which I think will be pretty handy. Because first of all, to display it in there, it's not sufficient for them to read code from the desks they're sitting at. They can't see it all the way up on my display. So this way I can, first of all, I don't want the class to be too code dependent. I want to introduce them to the code, but I'm mostly going to write it for them, I think. And then let them either type it in themselves, or they can copy and paste, and give them something they can modify and kind of guide them in that modification process. I don't want to bog things down with like waiting for everybody to type and format things correctly. See, I've been rewatching Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator. I'm about to rewatch Casablanca after the stream. Ah, coincidentally. Sketches hitting up the classics, huh? Never seen The Great Dictator. Oops. My lines are a little wobbly here. Should probably turn on that streamline. Help those out a little bit. Studio Pen. I mean, I'm sure it's already on, so it's probably a matter of turning it up. Yeah. Let's max it out. I think my hand is peeking through my glove, and it's catching the screen from time to time and causing it to make a mark. Yeah, that streamline helps a lot. Depending on the type of line you want to make, at least. It's not ideal for everything. I'm not sure what algorithm it's using, but it'll adjust the line as you're drawing it. And sometimes your strokes will not end up where you expect them to end up. Lovely. I wouldn't mind if this ended up having kind of like an overall marshmallowy, square-headed kind of vibe here. And indeed, that's what I'm going for, but I'm having trouble hitting it at the moment, so let's see. Oh, let's see, there's a screening of Serenity tonight. It might be nice to see that on the big screen. Ooh, yeah. Go meet up with some other brown coats. You gonna wear your cosplay? Do you have any brown coat cosplay of any kind? Certainly be a way to potentially connect with some other humans. I am, you know what, I'm gonna have to get happy with this line because I can't sit here and try to redraw it 200 times. It's just not gonna fly. Inking a little bit tougher with my left hand. A little more evident with the high resolution here. Oh well. Learning is fun. Learning is fun. Learning is fun. Learning is fun. Let's sharpen this off. Whoa! Turn this into a studio pen as well. Since you can't see a cursor preview on the iPad at all, you kind of have to feather in there. Wasn't Casablanca one of the first movies to be colored with the early recoloring techniques? Probably. I don't know. That sounds familiar, though. As though that there's an age limit on cosplay, you ageist. I'll be doing cosplay when I'm old if I want to. ain't no society standards gonna hold me back unless it's, like Trump's America by that time. And, being a 54-year-old furry is punishable with forced tanning. It didn't exist when I was impressionable, except for exactly. So Rocky Horror led the charge. You're not impressionable anymore. You're hardened. You're a hardened lump of clay now, and there's nothing that's gonna break through that shell. Well, let me offer this possibly persuasive take. You're looking to explore life's experiences. You're looking to find a certain way of being, a certain way of feeling internally. Who's to say it's not going to be found in an unusual place? I don't know about that one. That one's kind of too dinky. Instead, let's put some kind of little indication of the shape here. Maybe like there are some little skull dimples. Oh, those could be like little. Oh, they could be hairs. Let's make them little hairs. There we go. Just want a little breakup of the surface here. It might be a little too teeny weeny, but what are you gonna do? Not impressionable, honestly. It's not that I actually have philosophic issues with the prevalence of cultural deities. It has to do with that escapism we talk. Aha, gotcha. So, what do you consider a cultural deity? Let's talk some more about that. I want to understand better. Um, do you feel like the cosplay is like a form of worship, and that maybe like people are shifting their religiosity to like an unhealthy engagement in brands and media and content? I'm just trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out what, like, so a lot of people have like religiosity and a need to invest themselves in some kind of a belief system that deals with bigger questions or offers them guidance or a belief that it's all going to be okay somehow. Um, that seems to be inbuilt to at least a lot of humans. So I wonder if there is some kind of risk of people like investing that part of their evolutionary makeup into those, as you called them, let's call them cultural deities, and those cultural deities gaining or gifting an unreasonable power or a dangerous power to their creators or their controllers, by virtue of the control or the sway they can hold over like adherents, perhaps. Cody Bear, hey, how's it going? Let's see. Miss Grant says, currently, anything related to Marvel, Pokemon? Yes, we talked about this before, how the stories are treated as mythology. Yeah. No, well, first of all, I didn't know you had a PhD. So that's awesome. Or we're pursuing one. But I do remember talking about this with you, but I don't always recall the details, unfortunately. It takes a couple of poundings for stuff to really take root in here. So I enjoy exploring things further. Let's see. Sketchly says people gets into shipping so much of what they're ready to do to what they're into to death. Oh, excuse me. See, people gets into shipping so much they're ready to do death threats towards the creators of the shows they want in a particular shipping. Do you mean like tribalism, like getting together in groups and like, hey, this is our thing? That's when fandom gets satanic. I like that. That's quotable, bro. That's when fandom gets satanic. I don't have a PhD, but if I did, I'd want to get one. That would be the topic of the dissertation. So it's your personal PhD. My now I'm not comparing you in any way here, Miss Grant. It just reminded me of the topic of PhDs reminded me of my wife's former choir director, who went and got her PhD in something Reiki related. Her doctorate in something of a metaphysical and pseudoscientific nature, and so of course she had to get it online from some school that would call it a doctorate and etc. And I just remember when my wife was telling me about this and how amusing I felt it was that she, who had obtained her actual doctorate in a real subject from real life, with at the cost of enormous effort and multiple years of her life, and just kind of like, I don't know, I just appreciated like the social tension as they were friends and friendly, I should say, and had a good, reasonably good working relationship, but kind of had to grit through a little bit of it there. Shipping as in relationship. I never heard that expression. Let's see. Oh, getting upset when characters. Shipping. Oh, here we go. Shipping as in shipping characters with each other. Shipping equals fictional fan pair. Oh, we're talking about slash fic at this point. So now, I have to believe though that the slash fic community, while very vocal, has got to be a teeny tiny portion of the fandom for anything. I suppose though that's maybe the tip of the spear for the kind of like this religiosity concept that we're playing around with here though. Spuffy. Wait, what's Spuffy? Oh, Spike and Buffy. How did that fandom change after the episode? Let's see. Or getting upset when a character gets killed off, or pursuing art when all you do is redraw, create already existing characters. Gotcha. Oh boy. Oh boy. And speaking of oh boy, I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon. But I'm kind of been just down with Get Lefty. I want to replace these teeth. I like these new sort of more dental teeth that I've added on the other bits here. Sort of more humanoid teeth. I think they're damn creepy. Oh, but there was a very rapey episode between Spike and Buffy, and it was treated as a very serious thing, as I recall. Fortunately, but like I found it hard to be into the idea of them as a couple after that point. Of course, I was never like wildly into Buffy, but I was exposed to a lot of Buffy because my wife really, really enjoyed it. She watched it all the way through several times. Well, yeah, he was, but that's like the how vampires work in that show is somewhat confusing. maybe they explained it better over the arc there. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But their relationship existed in the context of him being a vampire. It wasn't like with Angel where it was when he wasn't a vampire they had the relationship, as I recall at least. Or you know what? Now I don't even remember. Maybe it was both. Oh no, he was a vampire, but that's right. There was a soul thing. There was the whole soul thing. Some of it's coming back to me now. I'm someone who ships characters, meaning you develop a relationship, or okay, so if you say I ship characters, that means ship, relationship. Okay, does it mean you develop a relationship with them, or that you write fanfic about relationships between characters? So that's what I want to be clarified on. Yeah, Cody Bear, I mean, like, ultimately that's it's tempting to think that about lots of
of fiction and content that is perhaps inconsistent, and where people are reaching very hard to offer rational explanations for things that don't pass the sniff test very well. Let's see. So, okay. Reading the rest of the comment though, and we'll talk about it with friends, but that's about it. If I write anything, I keep it to myself and maybe one or two close friends. I gotcha. Well, I don't necessarily think that there's like an issue. Like, I don't have a judgment against people that want to have or harbor in their like relationships. It's more like recognizing that for various reasons people bond in like very intense and perhaps broadly, like on an individual basis, I wouldn't presume to say, oh, this is an healthy or unhealthy amount of fandom, et cetera, et cetera. And that's down to the individual. But if we look at trends in the broader culture, do we see a potential risk or concern for, a society in which a lot of power and authority are gifted to these sort of corporate puppets? Or, in the best cases, artists' puppets, but still the puppets of individual people. I think it's fine as a hobby, according to Miscreant, but when people make it their whole life, it's a problem. And also, well, when people can't deal with reality because it doesn't, yeah, I would say those are some good solid like Mason Dixon lines for us to have there. Some lines in the sand, as it were. Reminds me, Sketchly says, in Rooster Teeth's X-Ray and Vav, there's a notebook where anything written in it becomes reality. Reality. Of course, a little girl gets hold of it and writes an X-Ray and Vav slash fic. And then, like, there's something to be said for like content that embraces that stuff, content that goes out of its way to talk about this the fic culture, the slash fic culture, the ship culture, like that. It's neat that there is content that addresses those scenes. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting the angle I want here. I have to remember Scott Robertson's great advice, and it turns out it's quite appropriate for me to, I don't mind because it gives me things. It makes it more interesting to read the comments. I haven't been as into giving people voices in the comments lately. I'm concerned. I grew up doing a lot of impressions, but they're all like sort of marginal impressions uh, of accents. And I feel like we've grown into a culture where I don't find that behavior to be as welcome, or at least I feel a sense of like, is this how I roll? Is this how I want to roll on the internet these days? So I spend a lot less to like. Sometimes I just want to, give you dear something from Scandinavia. I know that's not where you're at, but I enjoy doing the voice. See. So I got to get something going in my comments. Is what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Oh, where did I put that project? I was doing a project with Max yesterday, just for funsies. I think it's stuffed away in on my other account, but we were recording phrases in forward, and then we were reversing them, learning how to say them in reverse, and then recording ourselves saying them in reverse, and playing them back, uh, reversing them and playing them back, and it was a hell of a good time. That is a solid way to spend with like a 5 to 7 year old or 5 to 8 year old, I'd say, because man, he was loving it. Frankly, I was getting a pretty good charge out of it too. It was actually kind of had some surprising results. And see if my phone is in reach. Oh, here it is. I'll turn this thing on. I'm just gonna hang for a minute or two more. We're not gonna get to anything else today. I'll have to put my Olaf time in when I can. I can't promise I'll be in for the Minecraft map this afternoon. We're about halfway to the 31st though, so I will be working on it this weekend, and I might stream. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be working on it. So I'll give you guys an update of that. I know that people on the Yogs, let's see, I've written Yog slash fic, but I'll be damned if I'll show it to anyone besides one friend. It's just a personal entertainment thing for me. So I'm pretty sure I have made it into some private slash fics because there were some very cute and lovely people that were fans of Modded Madness with Ridge, Bebop, and sometimes myself. And oh no. And I remember getting fan art from a lot of people because I was on that show, and I was so touched. It was just so lovely, to be honest. And I then later learned that there were role play servers where people would play as us in their role playing scenarios, and it was then that I realized that because I knew some people were playing me on there, man, I would love to have video of somebody role playing verbal processing on a role play server. Gosh, that would be amazing, right? Just to get that perspective of how people imagine you, because that's really going to boil it down, like to what people take away from their interaction with you. In any case, I remember I've just been really fascinated with the idea. So that's when I realized I'm probably involved in a slash fic scenario somewhere. But I don't know where it is. So somebody that's like tied into that scene. Yeah, exactly so. And I think some of that Tumblr stuff bled over. So a card, if you know where to look, or if anybody knows where to look, see if you can find anything that directly references verbal processing. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if it had never bubbled up to the surface. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Cody Bear. Exactly. It's a incredibly rare privilege, right, for a human being to get to like experience that with a degree of sincerity from their fellow human. All right, a card. I appreciate it. Did you end up making that playlist for? I'm just scrolling back through my phone right now because man, it's gotten to be kind of casually easy to draw this stuff. I might be able to start doing. I wonder if I could find a market of some kind for designs along these lines. Maybe I tweak it into a product. Anyway, sorry, I got all distracted there. Here we go. I got some audio of this. It's on my phone. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear it. AO3 is where most Yogscast fan fiction ends up, and I started the playlist, but Cell has been too busy to watch with me. Aha, gotcha. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing him again, too. Him? Her? I think... I don't remember if we established a gender with Cell, so... take care, Sketch. You can't imagine anything you'd like less? Aw. So I say Stardew Strang in my house a lot. It's like a random phrase that I've been punishing my family with by weaving into my antics. But let's see if we have one.
Hi, everybody.
That's Max saying.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
With the backwards masking.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Anyway, those are very amusing to me. I don't know if they actually sound like anything to you guys because I know what they say. You know, that influences what you hear. Nevertheless, figured I'd share them for funsies. Let's see. I feel like there might be like some kind of pattern design potential for work like this, or maybe some textile design, motifs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where this this kind of artwork that I've grown into might best be monetized if I wanted to monetize it. I'm not necessarily thinking that I want to go there, but I like to keep my thoughts, my wits about me. I don't know, do I have something here that might be a good fit in a particular type of product or market? Now that I've gotten a taste of what it is to develop a product, get it made, and I'm starting to get some sense of how to distribute it and make it available to the public, I am I'm thinking that there is some opportunity for me to make at least make a few things that I've made available that I think may I just like to experiment with like building value into my own designs. That's what I'm trying to say, really. Like finding a way to profit from things that I've created out of whole cloth, not necessarily just licensed goods. So, or some take on it. It doesn't have to be a product necessarily, or it doesn't have to be a physical product. It's not something that I'm dying to do, but it's definitely sits in the back burner there. Let's see. So this weekend, I should be making progress on the Minecraft map. I will most likely be making progress on the dice roller as well. Are you still here, Cody? We I don't know if you saw any of the previous loaded dice experiments project, but I built a dice rolling. I hesitate to call it a robot, but that's what like most people would say, I guess. So I built a dice rolling robot, and we're getting close to the ability to automatically detect the pips using a camera or by analyzing video, so we can have this thing roll loaded dice for us. And it's visually it's a little scrappy, but I'm stoked to show it off mostly. Let's see here. Let's put this in this direction. Anyway, we got here it is, the dice rolling robot. It's got a motor attached to the back. This motor plugs into a controller, and I can then send a signal to cause this head to turn here. Let's see. I've never tried to fire this manually before, so there we go. That's the basic idea, and it shoots the dice up, and it goes and goes and goes. It's pretty neat, and it works pretty well. Ooh, only 3 results for verbal processing on AR3, but at least they seem safe for work. Yay! Well, yeah, I guess that's good. Will you send me those links on the Discord or here? The Discord is best, honestly, if you don't mind, but up to you. I got to read those. Anyway, so that works, and in fact, I don't know. You might have seen it on my Instagram. I think I'm gonna have to wrap up the drawing for today. And I'll wrap up the show, but I'll do a little sharing Instagram.com before I wrap up my presence on the show and get to work. I'm going right to work today. I'm going to exercise in the afternoon, which is not an amazing choice, but let's see. It is the choice of a new generation. This one. Yeah, here we go. Thank you, a card. There we go. I don't know. I'm so I'm putting this up on the wrong screen. Sorry. I'm so tickled by this damn thing. I think it's because I think I went through a long time in my life thinking I'm not smart enough to start and finish these random little projects that I always envied my friends that were into building. I don't know. Just looking at it, like, oh, okay, turns out. It feels good. And it feels good to share, too. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for being here today. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Oh, congratulations, Cody, on your graduation from floral school, floral arranging school. I'll take 6 chrysanthemums, a rhododendron, and a Pythagorean theorem. I meant to say a nasturtium. Flowers have good names. And I'm looking forward to seeing, I assume they'll end up on Instagram, but feel free to share them on here anytime. I'm looking forward to seeing your arrangements. I dabbled, weirdly enough, just like a few small projects, but I dabbled with flower arranging a long time ago. And my mom was so mean about it, and I just didn't do it anymore. Oh well, those were the good old days, right? My harebrained mind is just blowing this stuff all out here. Anyway, glad to hear it. Looking forward to seeing your work. Sorry, I started reading the chat there. I hate it when roses don't have a smell. Will do. Graduated top of my class. Damn right you did. All right, Miscreant, Cody Bear, a card, Flory, Summer, JPW, even though I didn't think you were here today. Sketch. Celestial, even though you're not here today. I'm scrolling back through. Does that Miss Nightbot? You're good on you, bro. All right. Yeah, cheers.